House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 1. I just watched the episode last night, and everybody wants to know, are we continuing the same trend from Season 1? Because there was a lot of apprehension going into Season 1 because Game of Thrones Season 8 left a sour taste in everybody's mouth. And House of the Dragon was a pleasant surprise. Everybody thought, this whole Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire on HBO, we're done, we're dead, it's over, right? But House of the Dragon proved that wrong. It turned out to be good. Yeah, the beginning of Season 1, it took a while to get into the characters because none of the characters had that same charisma as the Game of Thrones characters. Like, you think about Episode 1 of Game of Thrones, you had Arya Stark, you had Khal Drogo, you had Cersei, you had all these different characters, and Ned Stark. And they all felt awesome, right? That you didn't have that as much in House of the Dragon. But as the show progressed, as Season 1 progressed, we got to know the characters. And bro, Aemon's my favorite character. So I was looking forward to seeing him again in Season 2. So now, Season 2, Episode 1. We're gonna talk a bit about it, probably get into some spoilers later on. But how was it? How was this episode? What did it continue off from House of the Dragon Season 1 in terms of quality, or did it take a dip? That's the big question. So, Episode 1. I thought it was decent. It wasn't mind-blowing or anything. A lot of times you want to start with a bang and end with a bigger bang. This felt like we're just right back in it. This could be a decent episode right in the middle of the season. It didn't feel like we're starting off Season 2, let's get going. It didn't feel like that. It felt like I'm watching the next episode of season 1. It just continued on. I just right back at it. It continued on, and it does take place right after the ending of Season 1. It picks up a few days later, so that might be the cause of it, because the tone just continues from Season 1. So not a lot of stereotypical mind-blowing Game of Thrones type things happened in this episode. But it was still a solid episode. It was a decent episode. I wouldn't put it up there with the best of the best, but I definitely wouldn't put it down with the lowest of the lows. It was like right in the middle there for me. So now we'll get into some specifics. Not too much, but if you haven't watched the episode, click off right now because there's going to be some spoilers. I liked the way the episode started off, just visually. Right? You had the crow flying over the landscape, and immediately I thought, okay, whoa, we're back. This, honestly, that shot of the crow flying over the landscape, you're seeing the scenery, that took me back to Game of Thrones. Okay? I enjoyed that. And then we got to see the wall. From what I remember, the wall, it looked better in Game of Thrones than it did here. Not necessarily the wall, but the set of the wall when they're walking through the ice and all that stuff. I feel like it looked better in Game of Thrones than it did here, but I don't know. That might be just my memory. The entire episode is pretty much, it's the aftermath of what happened. Aemond, and his dragon killing off young Lucerys, and Rhaenyra is trying to come to terms with that because there's no body. He was completely burned to a crisp, right? So all she knows is that she got a word by a crow that her son is dead. So is he really dead? Can we confirm this? Should I accept it? How can I accept this? I don't know for a fact that he's dead. I don't want to accept that my son is dead. So she's going through that, right? She's out there trying to find proof. And she later on does, right? She finds his cloak and all that stuff, and she breaks down crying and all that. So it's really setting up for this war, black versus green. I'm 100% Team Aemond. Whatever, black, green, I don't even care. I'm Team Aemond, dude. Ah, man, I want to see Aemond. I would have loved to see Daemon take Aemond under his wing. Because they're one and the same. They're two sides of the same coin. They're literally the same name. You just put the D at the end. I'm very curious to see if they both fight, Daemon's got to win. I'm still Team Aemond though. All right, we'll see how it goes. So Aegon is king, Aemon's older brother, and he's completely inexperienced. he never really was invested in this sort of thing. Aemond more so. Aemond was more so invested in the politics and in all that stuff, right? The strategic nature of war and all that. And, Aegon was busy off doing his own thing. So he doesn't have the mind for a king, so he's struggling a little bit. He wants to appease the commoners, and he's not taking into consideration, hey, we got to be practical here. I can't just be relieving debts left and right. We have a war brewing. We're going to need feeding these dragons. So, he needs to think a bit more logically. But, he said it himself. He didn't want to be king. So you have Aegon dealing with king issues, and he's not ready to be king. You have Rhaenyra grieving. And Daemon, because of Rhaenyra's grieving, she wants Aemon's head. So Daemon, he sends out 2 assassins to go and kill off Aemon. They didn't find Daemon, so next best, son for a son. They went and killed Aegon's son. And I don't know about that scene, dude. Well, before we even get to that, he kicked a dog, okay? My mouth dropped. You don't see that often in movies and in TV. He kicked a dog, and the dog yelped, and it looked real, dude. I'm sure that didn't happen. No way that happened. But my jaw literally dropped. I did not expect that. That's not the common thing, right? You see people killing people constantly in movies and TV. Nobody bats an eye, right? But they kick a dog, and everybody goes insane. This is like the Joker's speech to Harvey Dent. But yeah, dude, it's like, I guess because they're helpless, they can't do anything. They can't fight back. There lives a little dog, and he yelped. That was sad. All right, so this next part was sad too. Them killing off Aegon's son. I don't know how I feel about that, because the situation was definitely tough. It was definitely tough, but I'm just thinking, I don't think my mom would have handled it the same way, because Aegon's wife, they pointed, hey, which one's the son? We got to kill the son, right? And she points to the son, and they go to kill the kid, and it wasn't a clean kill. They're struggling involved. They're literally mutilating this kid. I don't know what they were on the kid, just cutting him up or what. I don't know what's going on. And the mom is just like, what the freak is going on? Goes and grabs her daughter, it backs off and then runs off. I don't know. I can't see my mom doing that. Yeah, you saved one of your kids. You saved your life. But I don't know, dude. It's just, you gave up your son, and you just accepted it. You accepted the fact, hey, they're literally stabbing my son through the throat repeatedly. I'm getting out of here. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like my mom would have been screaming, yelling through herself at the guys trying to pull him off. Tell my kid to run off, and then tell the girl to run off and just fight off the guys, because I can't stand. My mom could. I don't think my mom could stand. She accepted it. It might have been. It's a smarter move in the long run, but I feel like I was expecting more emotion. I was expecting more despair and desperation there in that scene. So the reaction to that was a bit odd. I didn't, it was a bit odd to me. So yeah, man, that's it for my thoughts on this episode. It was a decent episode. It wasn't mind-blowing. It wasn't anything crazy like, Game of Thrones can give us. But yeah, it didn't feel like an episode 1 of season 2. It felt like an episode 11 of season 1. That's what it felt like. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What did you guys think about House of the Dragon season 2 episode 1? Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.